special event? Elevate your catering with Carrabba's Catering, the perfect way to enjoy large party portions of your favorite hand-prepared dishes for any event. Carrabba's Italian Grill at Parkway Place, Huntsville.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
It's Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I've got something important to talk to you about, your 401k. If you have changed jobs, there are two very important considerations. You don't want to leave your 401k behind, and you don't want to roll it over into your new company plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. 401ks will often have limited investments or age-based options. Since companies have to make choices to suit all employees, they may not be suited to you, which could cost you fees and money. When you roll over your 401k into an IRA, you not only keep your money growing tax deferred, but you also gain access to a world of investment options specifically designed for you. Trajan Wealth and our fiduciary advisors have helped thousands, and we can do the same for you. Call Trajan today, 256-208-9000. That's 256-208-9000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Hold your block until the whistle blows.
From SEC Media Days to the National Championship Game.
This was a great team win.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Hello and welcome in to the Blitz. John Abraham, Cap Cool alongside Joe Hunk here on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And in this first hour, ESPN Winchester as well. Joe, how much would you pay for a ninth conference game within the SEC? Just, to the entire SEC, how much would you pay?
You know what? I'll be honest with you.
If you had unlimited amount of money, how much would you pay?
I would give every bit of Hugh Freeze's salary just to have that. I don't know what it is. Whatever they're paying Hugh Freeze, put all of that in there, and I would give every bit of that just for it.
So like a few coloring books? And
somebody, by the way.
Card.
So I love ChatGPT. John knows this.
He's really fallen in love with it.
I have. I've fallen in love with it.
I walked in on him having a romantic dinner with ChatGPT the other day.
She was so sweet.
She's supposed to be so sweet.
Know. So anyways, they did this little, one of these Instagram feeds did one. It was like, show me what, Kalen DeBoer would be his profession if he was not a football coach. So they started going down this list. If they were not football coaches, what would they be? Kalen DeBoer was like a pilot. You had, there was a couple that, like Sam Pittman was a backup bassist in a bar band, like those sort of things.
You need some more hair for that. But
but it shows it like he's got the cigar in his mouth and he's just kind of that guy that's up there jam banding it. Got to Hugh Freeze, used car salesman.
Really?
Nailed it.
Wow.
Nailed
it's probably because of the amount of articles that have come out that have said that.
Probably
or
so.
Because of our show, and it kind of goes into that. Because ChatGPT, all AI is it goes through all of the internet and kind of combines it into one, and it gives you an image, it gives you a sentence, it gives you a paragraph, it gives you whatever you want. And that is very fitting. I could just see him smack it on the back of a car, being like, yeah, there's a brand new one. We just got this one. And the muffler falls.
Yeah,
hits the ground.
You go to turn the engine over. He's like, what? Listen to this sucker purring. Goes, ding, 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 ding. You're looking over at him going, is it It's got rabies. What does it have? Like, what kind of purr are we talking about here? Does this thing need to be put down?
Smack on the convertible top. Oops, forgot it was paper.
No, absolutely. This sucker right here, this thing right here is going to go good. Well, can I take it for a test drive? No, you don't need to take this thing for a test drive. Look at those wheels. Q, they're bald. Do I get into it? No, those are NASCAR wheels.
Would you
right
just
there.
look at them? Would you just look at them?
Yeah, those are some NASCAR ones. You don't need tread on NASCAR wheels. Like that's what those tires right there are going to be good for when you're going 180 around the turn at Talladega. Like that's what you need. Okay. See, I made a NASCAR reference. Look
Thank you. Like 2006, man. It was raining and everything.
Yeah, like that.
Back to
Daytona. You don't need to touch that thing right there. Well, can I go over there and take it to another mechanic just to check the engine? No, you don't need to do that.
What about my car? Can I do my Carfax thingy?
Yeah, no. Hey, can I take it where like one of the best mechanics in the world can look over it? No, absolutely not. Kind of like I don't want my quarterback going to one of the best quarterback camps in the nation.
What you got to do right now is you got to buy this because I got it at a steal of a deal right now.
Hold on. You see that right there? That's somebody calling about this car.
70% off MSRP. So you got to buy it now or you're not going to get it later.
Yeah.
Right?
That MSRP doesn't mean the same thing that does for everybody else. So he came out as a used car salesman and I absolutely loved it. But yes, I would do anything to have a ninth conference game, get rid of a POS opponent, and let's go ahead and have some good football 12 and 13 weeks out of a year. And that's what I want.
I think everybody would be all for that as well, but it gets to the point where Greg Sankey might not want to replace those POS teams because, hey, it's hurt the SEC in the past when it comes to getting into the playoffs. Look,
I actually got a text message because we were talking about something at the end of the show yesterday. Oh, it was one of the Cover 5 questions. You know, if Alabama or Auburn were to make a deal, it was the one Cover 5. It was a Cover 1. We were really going single high safety man on the outside. It was a bad defense. So what happened is we're looking and we start talking about, well, who would you want Alabama or Auburn to schedule a 12-year contract with, similar to what Clemson and Notre Dame did? And so I got a text message from Mr. Moulton right before the show wrapped up, and I wasn't able to read it yesterday, but it basically said that that's never going to happen because the committee showed us last year that you don't need that. And I went, dang it, he's not wrong at all. Like he's not wrong about any of that.
Now that might be the case, Joe, but sometimes money can speak. And right now reports are coming out that the ESPN is willing to pay a range of $50 to $80 million more for a ninth SEC game. Now, this isn't to each team. This is to the SEC in general, which divvied up, I'm going to say right in the middle, $65 million, if that was what they paid them. Each team would be making $4 million extra every single year. So would you think that would be enough? Or do you think that maybe 1, 2, or 3 SEC teams making it into the postseason, getting that incentive from the postseason equals it out to, well, we don't need that ninth game if we got teams in the postseason.
So wait, they're being offered $50 to $80 million?
Reportedly 50 up to $80 million more for a ninth SEC game. The ESPN wants it to be more competitive throughout the year. It's sexy for the TV. People are going to be watching it because you know damn well nobody's going to be watching Texas versus MTSU.
No, I hold out on that.
You'll hold out on that?
No, I hold out on it because you know what? Unless it is 9 figures, don't come to me about the offer. Now we're talking business. I'm taking the fan out of this because look, if you're willing to offer me 50 to 80,
hey,
you're telling me that if we were to add a ninth game and I then get to add Alabama, Texas again, or I get to see LSU, Oklahoma, or I get one of those types of matchups because that's Georgia and Texas in Sanford. Like, okay, hold up. If we're doing the ninth game and you're willing to pay me $80 million, you make it 9 figures, we'll talk. That's how I would look at it because
I like that answer.
No, and this is a business idea.
This is truly
because look, it's a difference. It is a difference in having the want to do something like, oh yeah, we want this. We want you to do this. Sankey has all of the cards. Like this is where everything is. The rumor mill is going crazy right now. I sent John one yesterday. There's tons and tons of rumors of things that could be potentially happening.
Oh, yeah.
That you look at and go, okay, that'd be kind of funny if that actually happened. But if you're Sankey and you're telling me, hold on, you want to pay me $80 million, but if at any point in time you go make it up to six figures, that means that each school at the least is going to make $6.3 million more dollars from the television contract and the check that we're going to be handing out in Destin.
No doubt.
So no, I hold out for the nine figures, because if you're willing to already offer me 80, because here's the problem with it. Conference realignment is not over. There's still going to be teams that are going to be moving around. And you do not want to get into a contract right now for $50 or $80 million, because let's just throw out wild ideas here. Okay. Listen, if we're just going to go wild ideas right to kick off this thing, and as we're rolling along, you're telling me that if we added Florida State or Clemson, or if we were to go and add a big team from the ACC, a North Carolina, if Belichick can make them good, you're telling me that this contract now would not be worth more? That's why I hold out, because 50 to 80 is cool. But if I'm getting Florida State, Texas, Florida State, Oklahoma as a ninth game, no, that's going to be worth more than what you're going to want to say it is, because then the landscape in Florida changes, because say Miami comes to the SEC. Let's just say this, okay? Because I'm using a bunch of ACC teams mainly because the conference is dying. So if you use that in Miami, you get Miami in Texas, or you get Miami, Alabama, or you get Miami and LSU. Now you're talking about a lot bigger audience, because Miami, Florida then turns into a much bigger game than what we're thinking. That is a massive football game.
Totally agree with you, Joe. I couldn't have said it any better. I think Greg Sankey said it perfectly. He just kind of went about it like the landscape is always changing. And on top of that, we need to know what the playoff committee, holds more valuable, because right now it is the losses. And that's something that you're going to have more of in the SEC if you have 9 games instead of the 8 that they are doing right now. On top of that, I look at the 50 to 80 million, and I'm thinking to myself, there are 16 teams in this conference. We can add at least one more amazing game to each one of these schedules. And how much do those individual games cost? Because that could get to the point where it's a 1.6 or $1.5 million contract.
The only reason that you also want to hold off on the contracts right now with the television deal of this,
I meant billion, by the way,
is because the committees themselves, which is the reason why this committee thing is such a bad idea.
Oh, there's a committee?
Yeah, no, and the other thing is, let's not act. Okay, so we're looking at like a 3 to 4 year window of what we need to figure out what this committee is looking at for this, because they have gotten so much backlash from last year's college football playoff. They could go in this year and change. I mean, it's literally on their discretion.
People forget about last year, just like that.
They could go in and go, okay, let's look at the wins and not the losses. Let's look at team A and team B differently than what we did last year.
Strength of schedules.
Look at the strength of schedules. Look at all this other stuff. And if it angers people that there's multiple SEC teams in more than what they think they should be because of the strength of schedule, again, South Carolina had an argument. In all reality, they had a massive argument that they could have been in the college football playoff. If this committee decides to go differently, then you have to schedule differently. The problem is this is just like running for any other office or being elected to any other office. There's a term. And so people are going to leave. People are going to come in. Their views are going to change. And so the goalpost is always moving with this. And you're never going to truly know what the committee is wanting, because their viewpoint on 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, as far as what they're looking for, is going to change. That's why the committee is a bad idea. That's why you do need a sort of system that puts this in place. You don't need this in the NFL. You don't need this in the NBA or anything like this because you don't have 114 teams that you're having to talk about. You've got 30 and 32. So it's different in those leagues. Whereas, yes, you need what you're looking for. You need tiebreaker matrix. You need every bit of this. What strength of schedule, wins versus similar opponents, all these things that we look for when it comes to seeding in the SEC basketball tournament, the SEC baseball tournament. There's 62 tiebreakers that we always talk about. Like, remember, I mean, heck, Tom talked about this like every week for about a month. There's 75 different tiebreakers that we have to go through. And at some point in time, I believe that we get the 2 slowest guys on the field and they do a 3-legged race. I don't know. Like, it's that sort of thing.
Yep.
But you need that because the committee themselves are going to continue to move the goalpost. And until we know what we want and what we need to get to the playoffs, there's no reason to make these massive changes. There's not. I hate it. I want 9 games. I want all POS opponents to be into a preseason where you get 2 preseason games. That's where they get their $500,000 or their $1 million there. And then boom, you have a regular season and nothing but P4s.
Get Austin P, get Sacramento State, then get SEC play the rest of the way.
And you play your starters for a quarter or 2 quarters if you want to. You put your walk-ons in. You do whatever you need to just to get everybody real reps.
Tennessee's probably going to have to play the start of the entire game.
Maybe so. Just to figure it out. Just to figure out which one it is. I mean, your QB competition is settled in the preseason. You know what you're going to do. You know that these teams and your Austin Peay and all that are going to come out and really play hard against you. So you use it in the preseason, and then you get great opponents for the whole thing. But because we know the matrix, if our strength of schedule is here and we've got the same strength of schedule as a team in the Big Ten, we go look at common opponents, or we then go look at points scored against similar opponent. Whatever it is that you start to go through as far as your tiebreaker list, that's what you have. Get rid of a committee.
I don't know if I'd want a preseason within college football, but that's a story in and of itself. And
I think that to me is what you do with these spring games. You get
and
rid
I
of spring
see where you're
games and you
coming
make
from
this
too, but also at the same time, teams are paying these schools to come in, and I know that they still would be paying these schools to come in, but it wouldn't be as much. And of course, there's so much more to take into account that is going to be changing within the landscape of college football with the Title IX, all of these details, NCAA versus the court, Donald Trump now getting involved with it. Regardless, I think that having those games against POS a part of the season make them matter that much more to those POS schools, and we still get those awesome upsets that we love to see that we kind of don't get to see as much of over in the basketball scene. But 256-576-97.7 is the number to get into the show. Wide open first hour, second hour, getting into more of the nitty gritty and a little bit more of the local conversation. But phone lines are open to you here at 97.7 and at ESPN Winchester, or you can also hop in on WZZN TV and join in to the chat box over there. Matthew said he'd spend $1 billion to have that 9th game. How much would you? We'll take it to break off of that when we get back. More college conversation here on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at Your Home Window Company. When it comes to replacement windows, exterior doors, or new window screens, Your Home Window is the answer anywhere in Huntsville, Athens, Decatur, or Hartselle. Your Home Window windows and doors are made here in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. When replacing those old windows or doors, Your Home Window has the solution for you. In-home estimates are always free and financing is available. Learn more at yourhomewindow.com and see clearly with Your Home Window. Visit yourhomewindow.com to make an appointment today.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says because Try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title, because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal. And we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beams likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Hello, listeners. My name is Jonathan Dunwoody, and I own Minuteman Press. We are a full-service print shop that is locally owned and operated. I have personally been handling direct mail for over 17 years and have a great relationship with the USPS. We are the only print shop in the area that is listed as a print provider on their website and the only printing franchise that can use their logo as our partner on marketing materials. We can help from conception to design, print, and delivery to the post office. And with our easy, secure online payment option, you don't even need to leave your office. Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
Looking for your next game day party destination? Well, think outside the box and kick back at Flosa Premier. And you may be thinking, isn't that the trampoline place? Of course it is. But it's also the one-stop spot for all things fun. And if kicking back with the boys to watch the game is your jam, then you're in the right spot. Jump or not, Flo tends to all ages, meaning while you sit back and watch the game, but little Jimmy's having the time of his life perfecting that front flip he most definitely wants to show you. You got this, Jimmy. So next time you think Flo, think fun for everyone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. We are going to be a little bit warmer today compared to what we've seen over the last couple of days. Highs climbing into the mid and upper 70s. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible. Dropping into the upper 50s, lower 60s as we head into the overnight early Friday morning. Again, maintaining the opportunity for a little bit of rain. And then we'll maintain the chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms through Friday afternoon as well. A mostly cloudy sky. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid 70s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Attention, may I have the camp's attention?
Your home of the college football playoffs.
Playoffs?
Is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Playoffs?
So which version of Rubber Band Man are we going to use here? Like the pimp?
No. Oh, wait. Are you talking about what's the reasoning behind this song? This one's about a musician.
Okay.
Yes. This
Why
one's
is it
not
Rubber
about a
Band?
pimp.
Because he's got rubber
You've
bands
asked
worth
this
of money.
before, and I know.
I don't think I got a clear answer on it.
Yes.
The song by American rapper T.I.
No, it's not that Rubber Band Man. That Rubber Band Man is drug dealer.
Or okay, so there's probably a lot of different. This is the Rubber Band Man from your favorite movie, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, this is the one that whenever they show up on screen, this is kind of the song that plays in the background. It's either this or Come and Get Your Love, which my son and I can do a magnificent duet of that.
I don't doubt it. Actually, I don't doubt it. You guys probably synchronize perfectly. Welcome back into the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk, 2 hours straight of sports talk. Joe?
So this version of the song is actually about one of the musician's sons who used to get made fun of for being overweight. And then what happened is he came back as an adult and he was in shape, but he was also a fantastic musician. And that was where.
So Fat Albert's story, his origin story.
Fat Albert never he never got skinny.
You don't know that. Bill Crosby got canceled before we could have saw the end.
He had 20 years. I mean, it's not like Fat Albert came out and it was the next day is like Netflix's Fat Albert debuts on May 9th. And then it was May 10th. It's like Bill Cosby loves to add a little something to your drink if you're hanging out with him.
We don't know what Netflix is going to do next. They might come out with a remake of Fat Albert.
They are coming out with a remake of the Ghostbusters cartoon.
I was about to say it's definitely not going to be Fat Albert because Bill Cosby has been canceled to hell and back. Regardless, we talk so much about these committees, Joe, and I feel like it's just getting wilder and wilder here in the Wild West of college athletics. And now I feel like we just changed the name of these committees into sheriffs. Okay. Maybe the sheriffs, and then maybe Sharon Moore could be a bandit or something like that. I don't know. regardless, Donald Trump, I mean, let's just say, okay, let me back this up. The NCAA has fumbled the bag so much to the point where now Donald Trump, the president of the United States, needs to let go of his duties of actually, guiding this country in the right direction to go over to college football, which he says is a very big part of this country and America in general. This shouldn't have gotten this fumbled. This bag shouldn't have gotten this fumbled. Let me just tell you that much. He's creating his own committee to now look at how the NIL can be adjusted to help everybody and end all of this madness that we've talked about for way too long. And he's got two guys that are going to be added to the chair first. And I feel like this is the start of some more problems, but we'll get to that as we move forward within the show. 256-576-9777 is the number to get into the Blitz, presented by the wonderful people at Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up and doesn't, in fact, fumble the bag. Joe, have you seen anything about this story?
No, I have. I actually saw a lot about it yesterday when I started really seeing about the two people that are going to be kind of the chairs of this. I went, okay, this is a chestnut checkers move. Okay, this is that real G's move in silence like lasagna, like we heard Baker Mayfield say. Nick Saban, as well as billionaire Cody Campbell, who is the Texas Tech's NIL collective founder.
The Matador Club.
Yes.
Badass name.
They are going to be the co-chairs for this presidential commission. This is a chess move. This is not a checkers type thing, because we look at this as, okay, let's look at what we just talked about less than 5 minutes ago. How much money would it take for college football to get the SEC to move to 9 games, being as in television companies, all this other stuff that would be paying for said 9th game for all of these teams? Because if you add a 9th game, that means that there are now 16 teams that have an extra game on their schedule that you're definitely going to want to have depending on the matchup. We're thinking like level 1 stuff, level 3 stuff with this for the SEC. Mm-hmm. The people that are trying to be really smart about this is talking about the NILs and trying to figure out salary caps and all this. That may be like your level 20 stuff is what we're talking about.
Okay.
Nick Saban, on the other hand, just went to the penthouse when it comes to making decisions. This is, let me look at cameras A, B, and C here. Okay, we've got 3 of these. I know they're not all looking at me, but I want to make sure that
that one's looking at you.
This one's looking at me. Okay, camera A. This is not a political thing. Okay, don't immediately. I know people are going to roll their eyes at this because this is a Nick Saban just introduced Donald Trump at the event last week, and now if I don't like Donald Trump, then what about Nick Saban? You want to know how many Democrats in the state of Alabama right now are probably having to have a lot of internal conflict because their favorite head coach of all time was introducing Donald Trump and is now going to be a part of a commission that Donald Trump is putting together. This is not politics. Okay. This what is everybody has said for so many years. Who needs to be the first commissioner of college football? People have said Nick Saban. Why not go ahead and not just try to be the commissioner that somebody else puts together this league, and instead form it all yourself? That is what Nick Saban is about to do. And I am not a Bama fan. We all know I'm not a Bama fan. This is chess, not checkers. This is him saying, my job, because nobody's actually said what this committee is going to be about. Nobody has said everything that's happening, but according to like all the different reports and all this commission is going to be expected to address the current landscape of college sports, meaning transfer portal, roster limits, eligibility, conference makeups, and of course, NIL funding. Nick Saban is the chair of this. So he gets to be the one that makes the presentations, showing and putting his ideas into play. This is him being a part of arguably the most powerful branch of the United States and being able to sit down with state senators, House of Representatives, getting to go and getting your with the highest courts that you can possibly go to and be aligned with them and coming up with a brand new design for college football. That is what Nick Saban is doing here. This is all about him doing exactly what everybody has always wanted and what he has probably wanted as well, as far as what should be his next steps as far as helping this sport. He is wanting to go to this level and be able to help design the perfect college football league so that everything is the way that makes it a better sport, that gets more eyes on it, and being able to make it more fair and balanced. Why try to become the commissioner of what somebody else built and not just become the commissioner of something you can build and have the power to be able to get the pull to get it done?
No doubt. And I think that the combination of Nick Saban, a guy that ended his coaching career because of the NIL, because of all these changes happening, and combining that with a guy like Campbell, who is embracing the changes that are happening. I mean, this is Texas Tech we're talking about. This is a team that is looking to spend around the $40 million for a team going into 2025. This guy has fully embraced it. Putting these two together, having their ideas mix and match, I think is a perfect way to get both sides of the coin.
Well, because look at this. We just talked about this. It is right now 9:32.
9:33 actually. Just changed.
9:33 right now. Not literally the second I looked at my watch, the very next tick was to get to 9:33. We just sat and talked about what it would take to get the SEC to 9 conference games. What Nick Saban is about to do is he's about to go and say, this league, however we're wanting to make changes and everything, every conference that is involved in this has to play X, Y, and Z. Here is what your scheduling is. Here is how we determine playoffs. Here's how we do everything. This is what he is going to do. In my opinion, this is the only reason you take this is because you go and you have the ability now to work beside arguably one of the most powerful people in the world, not just America, and make a change to college sports and specifically college football, which is the highest revenue driven sport, and change it into a way that makes it better for everybody else. Why go and try to work with the NCAA when you can go and replace the NCAA?
Yeah. And
that's what he's wanting to do.
And I don't think there's a problem with replacing the NCAA. At this point, it is just college football, college athletics, what needs to happen. And for a guy like Cody Campbell, who put in his input on the ways that this college sports, the college landscape can make more money, is one thing is pooling all of the money together, not worrying so much about the conferences and the different deals that everybody's making, because it is dividing this money to the point where they're making less than the NBA. The NBA, all of it goes into one, even though the NBA gets, I think, half as many views as what college football gets. So one of his ideas was to pull it all into one, set up a deal to where everybody gets a little bit of the cake. And of course, you're still going to have schools like Alabama, like Texas, like Ohio State that are going to make the most of the money. But you're also going to see other teams outside of the Power Four that are going to also get built up off of this. The New Mexicos, Wyomings, Toledos. Everybody's going to be able to profit from it. And we're going to still have competitive college football. We're not going to have to look at some of these teams as teams of the past. The Pac-12, oh, well, we think of Washington State, Oregon State. Those teams have totally fallen off the map. I don't want to see them happen. Oregon State versus Oregon is one hell of a rivalry. And that's going to keep up if college adjusts to the time. Same thing for Washington State versus Washington. Even though you look at one school a little bit higher than the other, they still make for great rivalry games that match sometimes the Iron Bowl or the Texas versus Oklahoma matchups.
I think that's what this committee is going to be doing. And I could be wrong, 256-576-977. I would love to hear your opinion about this, because this is now putting Nick Saban in a position, and obviously you're talking about Campbell as well, and the amount of money that he has in it. I almost feel like this would be them working together to formulate a new type of NFL type deal. Now, I do think that there are some principles of college athletics that definitely need to stay if the changes were to eventually be made. I think that any drastic changes obviously only need to be with college football. I think that with, college basketball, some people are not a fan of the one and done.
Well,
that's
the conferences will need to change. I think that's one thing that will need to adjust. And Campbell also touches on this. Conferences are so scattered now with the ACC and the Big Ten being pretty much nationwide. There needs to be an adjustment in landscape. And I hate that it has to happen again just because we just had a huge conference realignment session, but it needs to happen. I mean, if you fail once, let's succeed moving forward. Let's try and evaluate what the conferences truly need to be.
I think that with this move for Saban, he realizes what we all talk about is that the NCAA has no power and that it is the Wild West. I mean, Mike Gundy talked about it. Who is really to stop us if Colorado and Syracuse wanted to play a spring game against each other? What's the NCAA really going to do? Okay. I mean, really, in all reality, you were talking about Akron yesterday. They have a postseason ban. The NCAA isn't over any of the bowl games. So in all reality, if Akron still wanted to say, hey, we still want to go to a bowl game, wouldn't they?
We have like a civil war within college football landscape, the NCAA versus college football.
It's more about the very intelligent people in the short bus. Is really kind of what it's about. It's really more of that.
Well, if they collided, there'd still be a big fire.
Because here's what it is you have college football, and I'm talking as college football as a whole, is kind of trying to play nice with the NCAA because outside of college football, the other sports, your college basketballs, your baseball, your softball, all your other like third tier sports that are non-revenue driven sports or non-revenue making sports, those still need the banner of the NCAA to an extent. Your UAHs and all those.
Yeah, going down to D2 and D3.
They need the banner of the NCAA. Whereas college football, on the other hand, really doesn't need it at all. So they've played nice. And I think that this is going to be the bridge that allows a discussion to start to happen about allowing college football to become its own entity. And in the same way, making it where your college basketballs in the NILs and everything, because once you start talking college baseball and all those, NIL isn't as much, but those still being under the blanket, but also being more of an even playing field across it. It's kind of what it is. Because look, if you're talking about, let's talk about expansion or all of these teams that are going to be playing at this new conference that I could see Nick Saban trying to get together and create. You still have these other teams in these conferences. Is this going to be a very similar to, we want to do a lacrosse program and there's not enough lacrosse teams in this conference, so we need to join that conference over there. And it's, look, Ohio State is a member of the CUSA. Those sort of things where you're just going, wait, how is this all working? Those are discussions that need to happen then, because then if college football and you have 60 football teams that are all, have separated themselves from college football, what does that do with the FCS? What does that do with Division II? What does that do with Division III? There still needs to be a plan for everybody. That's where something like a commission like this can happen, where you take the best, you let them, or the most revenue driven schools.
Easy way to say that, relevant.
It's more about revenue. I mean, really, in all reality, it is about revenue.
Relevant to revenue.
Because, relevant. Think about it. Do you really think of Texas Tech as one of the most relevant?
I think they're a part of the conversation.
They are, because their billionaire is sitting on a committee right now. I mean, in reality, like, seriously.
Oh, you got to also think, we're talking about a school that also delivered one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history. So I think they're relevant enough.
Well, no, they're relevant because of that. It's not because of a trophy case. It's because of those types. So that's what I'm saying is, you really would go, do we need Texas Tech? Have you ever really been to their city? I mean, it's like desert, 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 desert. Oh, buildings, desert, 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 desert. I mean, that's what it is. Okay. Trust me, you do not want to go to Texas Tech's campus. But I'm like looking around and I think about those sort of things. Those are that's the balance.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we make this I just throw out 90. God, that's a lot of teams. If you take 90 teams and you separate them into creating this balanced schedule and this balance of a conference, what are you going to do with the rest? What are you going to do with the FCS? Who is going to be a part of the growth? Who is not going to be a part of the growth? Would a program like your North Dakota States that we've talked about all the time, that is one of the most dominant, if not the most dominant FCS program in college football history, would they be a part of this discussion because of how good they have been over the last time and their amount of revenue that they could potentially draw in the north central part of the country? Those are questions. We come back. Let's go to the phone lines. I know Brandon is on hold. We'll get to him here in just a second as well. Take your phone calls as Nick Saban is going to be a co-chair on a brand new college sports commission that Donald Trump is putting together. What do you think about it? 256-576-977 as we continue on ESPN Winchester, 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as WZZN TV.
Don't forget Cody Campbell. Don't forget him. Okay. Important.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
PJ Fried able to come to the home runs, adds a red snap, a 4-game losing streak with a 4-3 win over the Braves in Atlanta yesterday. Today, Spencer Schwalmenbach on the mound for the Braves, $1.70 favorite against Nick Lodolo with the Reds plus 142, 7.5 over the total. Coming up in the NASCAR Cup Series this week, Kyle Larson, the 4-1 favorite to win the Advent Health 400 at the Kansas Speedway. Chevrolet, the plus 110 favorite manufacturer. Toyota plus 180, Ford plus 275. Corey Heim, the plus 150 favorite to win Saturday's Truck Series race at Kansas, the Heart of Healthcare 200. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
When the biggest names in aerospace, financial services, and electronics needed office and manufacturing space in Huntsville, they called Samples Properties, and they've been doing it for over 40 years. When Huntsville first began to grow, so did Samples Properties. You can trust your business to Samples Properties and their deep knowledge of the commercial real estate market in Huntsville and Madison. When you're in the market for commercial real estate and you need a partner who knows how to make your plans come together, Samples Properties can guide you through all the legal, financial, and regulatory hurdles. And if you just need office space to start or grow your business, Samples Properties is the call you need to make. Go to samplesproperties.com to see the impressive list of clients that have profited from the knowledge and integrity of Samples Properties. For commercial real estate development and consultation, trust your business to Samples Properties, with offices on Madison Street in downtown Huntsville. Samplesproperties.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed mold, mildew, bowing walls, or water in your basement? I hope not, but if you have, your basement is losing the war against groundwater. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job.
Licensed in all states will work as before. See website for detail. The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day, Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at $5. Coralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. We are going to be a little bit warmer today compared to what we've seen over the last couple of days. Highs climbing into the mid and upper 70s. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible. Dropping into the upper 50s, lower 60s as we head into the overnight, early Friday morning. Again, maintaining the opportunity for a little bit of rain. And then we'll maintain the chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms through Friday afternoon as well. A mostly cloudy sky. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid 70s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We cover all the SEC schools, including Western Union and Venmo. I want money! You know, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Man, you know what I'm going to do today? Damn right.
Coralejos.
Exactly.
Tom Abraham show.
I'm going to be heading on over to Coralejos after our show, eating some amazing Mexican food. I get some cheesy chicken. I'm thinking maybe I'll go with the quesadilla with shrimp chicken and a little bit of cheese. You can't go wrong with any of that over at Coralejos. Tom Abraham show going to be live on location over there. Make sure you guys go and check it out as well if you haven't. That area is booming. But we've been talking a little bit about these committees that are just popping up out of nowhere. But this one might have a little bit more merit because, of course, well, the President of the United States is really just banding it all together like it's the Avengers. So it's interesting. We like to hear your guys' thoughts on it throughout today's show. 256-576-97.7. We'll hop right into the phone lines. We got Brandon on with us. Brandon, how you doing, man?
I was listening to y'all while I'm trying to get on the 75-285 interchange here, and it's not moving at a rapid pace, shall we say.
Oh, it's kind of like me driving in from Hazel Green every single day now.
The damn construction.
Yeah. No, I found a back way for me today. I don't know if you can do that, but I found a back way that I was able to get here in 35 minutes. So I was kind of happy with that.
I might could find a back way, but it might involve turning this Honda into the General Lee, and I'm not sure how it would land. So I guess I'll just continue to do the left lane.
I mean, you are in Georgia, man.
So, I mean, it's been done a time or two down here. Like when that bus went off the edge of that bridge this morning, I passed it.
Yeah.
So how did we end up in a situation where a college football playoff
I don't know. I don't. I've asked that myself that numerous times.
I fell asleep to that actually. That same exact question yesterday when I was falling asleep.
Is that meme of I bet you he's thinking about other women. How did we get there from where a college football playoff? Brandon, are you still there?
I think you cut out for a second, okay, Brandon.
Brandon, can you back up? Because all we heard was, how did we get to a place where a college football playoff, and then it was silent.
So how do we get to a place where a college football playoff is independent of the governing body of the sport, which is the NCAA? Now, I despise the NCAA, and there needs to be a lot of changes. But how did the NCAA ever just sit back, asleep, and just let somebody come in and basically institute something that makes a lot of money, and they had no hand in it whatsoever?
Well, here's the thing. The NCAA was the reason why college football is to the point that it is to right now.
Agreed.
And I'll say this. I don't think they were expecting anything like this to just come up, even though they very well should have. But it got to the point in 2020 with COVID. It does this all the time, even though the conversations were in place for NIL, for all of these different things, of course, that are currently going on for the transfer portal and all of this. It got to a point where I don't think they were ready for it to change so rapidly. So they weren't 100% prepared to make these changes. And now they're just kind of doing it as it comes. And I think that's why it's getting away from the NCAA. For the D2, for the D3 schools, I think that they have no problem controlling those. But now it's to the point where Texas itself, the brand of Texas football, is bigger than the entire embodiment of college football, which is the NCAA and college athletics in general.
So the reason is because it goes back to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is the reason why the NCAA has lost power in numerous standings. It's the reason why the transfer portal is what it is. It's the reason why players are, being able to make the NIL money. The Supreme Court is over all of this. Not saying it's a bad thing, just giving you the answer. It all goes back to when the Supreme Court started to allow the conferences to negotiate the television rights. The moment that they did that, then the NCAA started losing power with this.
And then obviously Nico Iamaleava and needing to get paid.
Yes, blame Nico for all of it.
that was a big part of it too, though.
He really is patient zero on this. Like, he really kind of is, because it was that lawsuit that Tennessee filed that the courts finally said that Nico was eligible to play, or whatever it was that they did. That was literally like the biggest nail in the coffin of the NCAA when it comes to their control over college football.
Well, usually the NCAA wouldn't be involved with anything that was money, and you would have thought they would have willingly gone to the table and been like, sure, let's create a playoff, and that they might have done it themselves before it got that far. And I'm hoping this committee with Nick Saban, if they put this thing together, is going to be more like a independent fiduciary that's going to come in and negotiate agreement between people on things that they can't agree on. Yeah. Instead of being a body that issues edicts and tells people what they're going to do, I'm hoping they can get cooperativeness together.
Yeah. Well, and currently there's only 2 chairs filled, and I think that's going to change soon, because it's going to get to the point where a Big Ten coach or a Big Ten commissioner is going to want to also be involved, or somebody who's handling a lot of money, and then it's going to probably spread to the ACC. I feel like everybody's going to want to be a part of it, and I think that it's fair to say, but I don't think it should get too big to the point where everybody's got to say, and then of course it's back to being the NCAA, and nobody knows really what the answer is.
Well, the problem that you have is in the NFL, you've got a players association.
No, you do, yes.
College doesn't have a players association that isn't highly transitory. So trying to put that together where you have a players association that can actually have some authority to agree to something, to me, is the biggest part of the brokenness. Is the rules are only going to go one way from the top down, but I think you would do better if you could agree to both sides. So how you form a players committee for something that is so big, because you're much more than 32 teams.
Well, I think that
also, I don't know how many
well, and I also think, like, with the players committee, it's kind of like any other union. You also have to pay dues. You also have to pay money in this. Yeah. And I think that obviously with a lot of college athletes up until a few years ago, they would probably be thinking about, wait, we've got to pay for what? Why do I want to pay for that? Like, it's something along those lines. So like, you go back and you look at even something as simple as what, John and I were excited about last year, and that's the new college football video game. They agree, and the EA Sports has an agreement with the NFLPA. They also have an agreement, obviously, with the NFL for all their copyrights and all that, but they have the agreement with the NFLPA. That's the reason why they're able to use the likenesses on that. So there was a college football PA, then it would be the kind of the same thing there, is that the PA would be the one that would be making and having the negotiations in favor of the players. The problem is with it is, I think that it would have to be something similar to what the NFL or Major League Baseball or anybody else has, where the person that's over it is like a former athlete, you don't want a current junior that's trying to go through and also do his economics and also doing his chemistry.
Man, they don't know what they want.
To also be over the college football PA.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to sit down and say every team in the SEC wanted to have a representative elected by the players, and let's say you elect Cam Newton, A.J. McCarron, whoever you want to go for you, I think that's how it's going to have to be too. It's not going to be able to be an active student.
No, it has to be somebody that, I mean, honestly, I would think of somebody more like an Andrew Luck. Like I would think of somebody that's a Stanford grad that has a very amazing business background, that knows how to run a company, like those types of people that I would see being more of it. That is a former college athlete that you would want to be over it. Not, somebody that's just because of a Heisman winner or something along those lines. I think that it should be somebody like that is very good from a business standpoint.
Yeah, good conversation, Brandon. Always appreciate it. We're running close to the end of the hour, but we got to hop into a break. When we get back, more phone calls and a lot more coming here on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Sorry, Brandon.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White, his team takes great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bad compressor, leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490. AL certain number 21014.
Oftentimes, the wheelchairs our veterans and first responders receive from their healthcare providers are subpar at best. Some are falling apart with a years-long waiting list for a new one. This lag causes a tremendous amount of stress for our heroes and creates a burden for their caregivers. Isolation leads to depression. We build what they need to get outdoors, hunting, fishing, or playing sports. Join the mission at wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal. And we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, When you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
1 in 3 adults in America have prediabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse, like this. Here's 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living Ben has mom my. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years. So together, we want to say to the 84 million Americans at risk, exercise and healthy eating can help reverse prediabetes. Start by taking a simple 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Bet he can't say that in reverse.
This is Brent Musburger's VSIN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
PJ Friedel with a couple of home runs, adds a red snap, a 4-game losing streak with a 4-3 win over the Braves in Atlanta yesterday. Today, Spencer Schwalmenbach on the mound for the Braves, a $1.70 favorite against Nick Lodolo with the Reds plus 142, 7.5 over the total. Coming up in the NASCAR Cup Series this week, Kyle Larson, the 4-1 favorite to win the Advent Health 400 at the Kansas Speedway. Chevrolet, the plus 110 favorite. Manufacturer, Toyota plus 180, Ford plus 275. Corey Heim, the plus 150 favorite to win Saturday's Truck Series race at Kansas, the Heart of Healthcare 200. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. We are going to be a little bit warmer today compared to what we've seen over the last couple of days. Highs climbing into the mid and upper 70s. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible. Dropping into the upper 50s, lower 60s as we head into the overnight, early Friday morning. Again, maintaining the opportunity for a little bit of rain. And then we'll maintain the chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms through Friday afternoon as well. A mostly cloudy sky. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid 70s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Second hour, final hour, best hour on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Joe Hunk and John Abraham with you for the next hour as we continue to talk a little bit about Sir Nick Saban and the fact that he is going to be a part of a massive potential change through the landscape of college football. Also, coming up in about 20 minutes, we will be talking to the head coach of Madison Academy Baseball, David Presley. No relation to Elvis, though.
No relation. Two S's instead of one. Yeah. He is. It's going to be weird for me to talk to him and call him David Presley. I will probably only do it once, just because he is my former teammate at UAH. When we played baseball together for it was only one season. He and I were there together, and one of, if not the best leaders that I have ever played with in my entire playing career, including the teams that I was supposed to be a leader of. He is one of the most amazing men. It is one of the most godly men that I've ever known. And he has, if there was ever a person that you wanted to go on a field for and play with that was a teammate, it was Presley.
I'm looking forward to conversating with him a little bit because his Madison Academy Mustangs are still in the postseason. I'm excited to see how they could perform moving forward because it has been a long year. We're running short on teams from our area.
There's only a couple.
And,
Bob Jones, Matacad,
yep.
Mars Hill. Was it Mars Hill or Mars Bible?
It's Mars Hill Bible.
Yeah, Mars Hill Bible. See, exactly. Just named everything right there. So yeah, it was. There's only a few of us that are still kind of fighting for the blue map, and so we're going to be talking to him coming up here in just a little bit because
they start their semifinal matchup in their round coming up tomorrow, as a matter of fact. So I wanted to get him on today so he wasn't thinking about this while he's actually trying to think about winning a state championship. It'd be kind of smart.
Yeah, they're going to be facing off against the American Christian Academy, actually, which will be it's a new face to find, I would say, this deep into the postseason. But this is what you're going to get. I mean, you're seeing the schools that you do not see ever during regular season. This might be their very first matchup against them as they're looking forward to it. It's going to be going on tomorrow.
Since Presley became the head coach at MA, which again, MA growing up and going to outside of the times where I was almost playing for MA, this was my biggest rival, even more than DAR. Like, we hated MA. DAR was kind of like that Georgia rivalry where, like, you're side by side, you're only separated by a few miles. Like, okay, you dislike each other. Same thing with Madison County. But at New Hope, we hated MA because MA was the number one team in the area every single year. So it was always, that was the team you wanted to beat.
Well, we get two academy schools facing off against each other. You're going to get a lot of quality. American Christian Academy's coming off of their 2-0 win against Scottsboro, whereas Madison Academy got Lawrence County in their last matchup, 2-1. A lot of low-scoring matchups, I'll say that.
Well, it's because of the good pitching.
And yeah, I mean, that's the one thing that is keeping a lot of these teams going is the pitching. It is a totally different level. The deeper you get, the harder it becomes. And you definitely see it in these later matchups.
He has, since he's been there, he has had 30-plus win seasons twice. He has only won fewer than 20 games once, or not counting COVID season because they were like 14-5. So not counting that is that. And he has won 22 or more games almost every single year.
Well, a coach that might be able to say he's done a little bit better, just a little bit, is Nick Saban. And that's been the conversation we've had throughout today's show. Donald Trump, of course, bringing together his own college sports commission. And he's got two chairs. They're not wide open anymore. Nick Saban and Texas Tech NIL Collective founder of the Matador Club, Cody Campbell, are filling those two seats for the time being. Those seats might double, might triple, but let's go to the phone lines before we continue this conversation and talk with Harry. Harry, how you doing, man?
Hey, good day. How y'all today?
Doing good. How about you, sir?
Doing well. First of all, I'd like to give a shout out to Brandon. He did a great job yesterday on the Talking Ball about Ace, her career there and her potential going to the University of Alabama. But he did a great job. It was Marty McGee presentation in the discussion, very thoughtful, insightful questions, and very objective throughout. So he just did a great job. I think it was great bringing a caller in to host an event like that. Back to the thing at hand that's breaking the news today. Governance, compliance, and enforcement. We've got to have a national entity, and people keep forgetting this genie got out of the bottle without anyone understanding what it costs to run a Division I, Title IX, federally mandated Title IX program across the spectrum. So Trump's taking a step there with Saban and the billionaire there from Texas Tech. But that's going to objectively address questions at the federal level. But between NIL and the transfer portal, we've got to get something that's going to cross over because it is a state issue involving NIL and any legislation that comes through. NCAA lost its capability to govern because its compliance and enforcement was so horrible. You can't have compliance and enforcement that goes on for years before you get a issue resolved. This most recent Tennessee was just one example, but there's many, many more examples of the NCAA failure to come through with compliance and enforcement in a timely manner. And that's what drives everything nuts.
Sharon Moore just got the punishment. I mean, and that's one thing that's just 2 years ago.
So to get this thing back in the bottle, this executive level, remember, executive branch of the government, this executive level commission has got to bring in the legislative element, the House and the Senate, to get to a legislation solution we need across the country that gets the federal Title IX and those issues codified. And then the second part of it is we've got to get to the point of follow the money. That's what's driving it now. But we got to get to what we have from the governance and enforcement perspective And that's back to the NCAA, a agency that has the overarching responsibility to ensure that it is a level playing field, and then we have quantifiable, objective evidence that leads to enforcement and compliance. And until we get that federal and state bond there, it's going to continue to be the Wild Wild West, and the fans are going to be the ones that suffer. You're not going to have the same type of fandom support if you go to this, let's drive a mega conference and drive a certain number of schools to a certain level. It's going to ruin that game day experience for football, that game day experience for basketball, baseball, gymnastics, swimming, whatever, fill in the blank, at the campus level. And the fandom is, the allegiances and loyalties are to the universities. It's not to making money, the ESPN and the sports TV channels, so they can have a wide fandom, a wider TV audience at the sacrifice of fandom. So I'll get off my soapbox, but I just wanted to shout out to Brandon and give you my perspective on this is a good step forward, but we've got to bring in at the executive level that Trump's put together, we've got to bring in the legislative level, and then we've got to come to grips with how NIL and transfer portal at the state level are going to integrate into that new nested Title IX across the NCAA, and we've got to be willing to empower the NCAA without litigating lawsuits to enforce and compliance and enforcement in a timely manner. You guys have a great morning.
Hey, thank you, Harry. No, and Harry has amazing points on all of that. And I think that what the goal is that with this whole thing is I think there's two goals with this committee. Okay, like especially if you're like a Nick.
Which
Saban.
committee are we talking about? Because there's like 5 of them at this point.
Well, I think this committee could potentially, depending on the decisions that it does and doesn't make, could also get rid of the college football committee. Like that's the other part of this.
Okay, so this is the top hat committee right now with the monocle.
Yeah, this is the one that can sit there and make every sort of decision. Obviously, over time, it's not like look, 2026, this is what's happening. This is something where it is let's get together. Like if you're talking about the first meeting and you were to have this big whiteboard of like, all right, what are our goals? All that sort of thing.
It's probably already filled up right now.
It probably is. And the first meeting's probably already happened. But part of it is okay, how do we get and make college football a level playing field across all that also continues the NIL where players can make money, continues the part of which they still need to be student athletes, but also has it where the sport grows. I think that is one thing that you're dealing with. The other part of that, once you come up with what that idea is, you then have to come back to like what Harry was talking about with Title IX and making sure that whatever plan A is for college football and the money that comes in from that, how the other sports and the other parts of the university can still be able to function if something like this were to change, because that's going to be two totally separate entities now. If that was the case, college football, what are they doing now? What do you see across all of college football? Steph Curry has been named the general manager of his old university at Davidson. Shaq has been named the general man. Like you continue.
He's got no connection to Sacramento State, but his son's there. So GM power.
Basically, they're the face, and as the GM, it's almost the general manager for these. From the way that it looks and the sounds, is very similar to the general manager that's right now at Toyota Field, because the general manager for minor league baseball is different than the general manager for Major League Baseball, for NFL, for NBA, because they are mostly about promoting, bringing in money. That's what it's about for general managers at this level.
Nice. Yeah, I agree with that.
And so same thing like with the Havoc, when we talk about that is about money revenue, coming up with ideas that would bring more fans to your stadium, to your facilities, to your gymnastics programs. That's what the general manager is for. It is to go to these booster events and be like, hey guys, you remember that time that I slammed one down on Wallace? Y'all remember that down in the playoffs? Oh yeah, here's $2 million.
But don't you think that the general manager of a minor league team and of those Sacramento States, those are similar? But wouldn't you say that Alabama or the Tennessees, those would actually need a standing general manager who would be able to shift the tides, because they're right now bigger than promoting and getting people in. They're already going to get those people
in. You do, the general manager takes the place of what the head coach needs to do. Because look, people forget how many times the general manager or how many times the head coach is like, hey, we need to get ready to take on Tennessee this weekend. Oh, okay, cool. Well, coach, at at 7:00 tonight, do you mind stopping by this booster event for us real fast? I need you to, we got some real big names that are going to be coming by. Just shake some hands, take some pictures, all that sort of thing. Oh yeah, sure. I could do that. Sure. Fine. And then he goes home and is like, God, I can do this thing. Sure. Fine. That's kind of what the general manager does as well. That's the reason why you're seeing these prolifically humongous celebrities in the sports world becoming the general managers for said universities, because it is now them that they're going to say, hey, Steph, can you come to this booster event for us real fast during the off season so that we can get some more funds for the basketball program? Yeah, sure. I'll come over there. Dude, yeah, remember when you drained that 3 from the logo? Yeah. And next thing you know is, oh, here's $5 million. Here's more money to the program. That's what the general manager is for. He's basically going to turn into the head booster to help the head football coach out, and whoever the head revenue is. If it's at Duke, you're going to get somebody there that's going to be able to bring in more revenue. That's what the general manager is for. That's what you're looking at when it comes to college athletics, as far as the football side of it. That person is also going to need to continue to build revenue and bring in money for all the other sports as well. So that's where this balance for this committee is, because we know that college football is outgrowing the NCAA. It has for many years. But you also need to figure out the programs that still need the NCAA, how they can continue to function, and how the amount of money that's going to be brought in from said football programs that are going to be a part of whatever would potentially become of this. And again, this is just me spitballing here. How that money revenue could then have a ripple down effect to be able to fund golf, rowing, all these other programs that are non-revenue sports, and be able to make sure that the ecosystem of college athletics remains what it is.
Snooker.
What?
Don't forget snooker.
What about snooker?
The snooker clubs.
Oh, you mean soccer?
Snooker.
What the heck is snooker?
And hockey. Field hockey, specifically.
I was like, what the heck is snooker?
No, I do feel
I know
like
what a snickerdoodle is. Don't know what a snooker is.
I feel like there is a possibility for some of these clubs, or I say clubs, that's what they'll turn into, depending on how the direction for college athletics moves forward. There's going to be teams like Alabama's hockey team. What conference are they a part of? It's not the SEC. It's because it's also not an official team.
Isn't it CUSA?
No, it's not. It is in a specific branch of college hockey. That's what it's a part of. Same with, you can look at UAH. UAH in a totally different league altogether.
Yeah.
It's not the same, and that's what's going to happen to some of these teams. Even though the tennis team might be in the SEC right now, depending on how the path is paved forward, they might be in a totally different conference, all things considered. I mean, it might be totally different. It's an interesting thing to look at. It's already a thing that's happened before with teams and colleges that don't really utilize certain athletics. So it's something to look at with other squads that might be a part of the SEC as well. But Joe, we do need to hop into a break.
We do. Let's go and let's head up the street off Madison Boulevard. Let's talk to David Presley. He is the head coach of the Madison Academy Mustangs as they get ready to try to advance inside the not even college, high school baseball tournament and try to win the college. Yeah, I know we've been talking so much college. Let's just talk to Presley when we come back here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
Wait, Elvis?
No, David.
Oh,
it's his cousin.
Got him.
Do it.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life?
It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
This spring, bloom into savings at Owen Home Appliance Center with a new shipment of scratch and dent items at the Somerville location, like a side-by-side refrigerator with water and ice, just $6.99. Or head to the highly interactive location in Lacey Springs to get the latest in appliance tech. It's garden and grilling season, so you're going to need that 21 cubic foot upright frost-free freezer for just $7.99 at Owen Home Appliance Center. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service only at Owen Home Appliance Center, Somerville and Lacey Springs.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation. And maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle. The same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
It's a very fitting song, like an extremely fitting song.
Wasn't even planned that way either. Wasn't even planned. As we are now getting ready to, let's talk a little bit about high school baseball, the HSAA state tournament going on right now. And we're really only down to a couple teams in the area that actually have a chance at even advancing in and trying to win the blue map. And one of those is on Madison Boulevard, right off of it on Slaughter Road. That would be the Madison Academy Mustangs, as they won against a couple of, or last week, I should say.
Now, Lawrence County
Lawrence
County. Week, and then Leeds the week before that. Yep. And then to start the tournament, it was Douglas. And it's been a pitching affair the entire way through, Joe.
And look, I joke on you about formality and how it tried to be like formal with everybody and all that. I'm trying hard to want to be formal right now. It's not really going to happen because even introducing him as David Presley is just weird to me because I've called him Presley my entire time that I've known him. So Presley joins us right now, the head coach for the Madison Academy Mustangs. As dude, look, I've traveled around the entire state of Alabama and Tennessee trying to get a sports radio career going on. And as I'm doing that, you're just out here just straight dominating with Madison Academy, man. How's it going, bro?
Man, it's going great. It's been a long time since I've talked to you, but it's good to hear from you.
It is, man. And I've been keeping up with everything that you've been doing with MA, man. And it is just absolutely amazing to see all the stuff that you guys have been doing and what you've been doing with there. And for a lot of people that don't know, I mean, obviously, man, this MA team, look, I'm going to let you know, this is the only time I want to talk good about MA. I'm a New Hope grad, man. I hate MA. I do. But at the same time, bro, like you guys are just straight killing it, man. Like I know that the MA's had a history of good teams. I've played against them. It's almost a part of a few of them. I want to know, like, how do you guys and how have you kept this tradition going of continuing this baseball program to continue to win 20 and 30 games every year?
Yeah, I mean, I think that starts with what Coach Good built here, and he built an expectation to win and backed it up, and they had a lot of success. And when you're fortunate to be handed a program where the kids put on the jersey and they expect to win, it means a lot. And I got to experience that even at Hartselle. At UAH, there was just kind of a, hey, expect to win. And I love being a place where you got the pressure to win. You got you got the eyes on you. It's fun, right? Because you get to try to live up to that, and you get to put all the work in to try to back that up and give those kids the reason to walk out of this place and be winners, right? Not just on the field. So.
Well, and for you, like for me, and look, man, this is why I say is I've kept up with a lot of things that you're doing, but when did you get to MA? Like, where did you start as assistant coach? For me, again, this is almost like I'm just trying to keep up with it with an old teammate, being like, bro, what have you been up to recently? Yeah. Like, how did all this get going where you became the head coach of this team that obviously has an amazing history?
Yeah, well, honestly, about 2 years after we parted ways at UAH, and I knew you, I thought I was going to be a preacher. I went to Indiana to go to prepare to be a pastor. And while I was there, I helped with baseball and found out that was really my calling. And the way to show Christ is through the game of baseball. And so I was a D3 assistant for 3 years, and then became the head coach at Anderson University there for 5 years. And then we were ready to come back south. And honestly, I thought I was going to be an assistant at UAH. But this job opened up, fortunately, and I was Coach Good's assistant in 2016. Here, and then took over in 2017 and working on year 9. So it's been a blast. This place is incredible. A lot of great people, and what an opportunity to be here.
No doubt. And Coach, talk a little bit about the season leading up to, of course, the tournament. What really did you see whenever this team was kind of forming into one? What was something that stood out to you? That was something that had that championship mentality to it.
It's funny is, we're a school that thrives on people wanting to send their kids into this environment, and it usually doesn't happen until that middle school, early high school time, and that's kind of been the tradition. And this class of seniors has had a core group that's been here since elementary school that maybe added a couple of key players here and there at that point. But, we've kind of known about this group, that is all seniors for quite a while. And now, 12 seniors is an absolute record by, 4 or 5 kids. And it's just a confidence. It's they show up every single day. They know what to do. They know what's expected. They know the standard. They know what it takes to win. And you're not going to win every single game, but when you have that mindset and you put in that kind of work, it's going to give you a pretty good chance.
No doubt. And one thing I like to look at all sides of the sports whenever it comes to Madison Academy. Again, a great football team, great baseball team. I know a lot of these kids probably flip-flop a little bit. Do you have any of those kids that are playing both the sports and right after baseball? Well, it's back to football for fall.
Yeah, we've shared a few for sure. I mean, our first Shane Duke at first base, that's an all-region basketball player. Braden Gardner at third was a defensive end. Keaton Watson, who catches, was a linebacker. Our ace, a game one pitcher, I would say Jack Doyle is a linebacker.
Yep.
Jaden Etienne, who is very, will pitch huge innings this weekend for us and has been incredible, is going to be a receiver in college. And so, yeah, a lot of guys, helping out multiple sports, and that's school. I mean, we're the size of a 2A, and we're in the Final Four and 5A, right? You got to share kids around here.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, no, and that's the thing is with it being a 2A, man. I mean, you guys, you're talking about 12 seniors. Like, that's the part to me that blows me away, is that for me, whenever, I was in a 3A, you would have some seniors that's like, all right, you know what? I'm just going to focus on basketball. Hey, I'm just going to start focusing on football. And then by the end of the time, that freshman class, you look back at it and there's 5 or 6 that may have actually stepped through. How did you guys keep all 12 to like say, look, we're going to stay through the end of this, and now you're making this run?
Yeah, I mean, I joke, but I'm pretty sure we have like 20% of the senior class on the baseball field, and it's funny, and I think it's just the believability that you're competing for something bigger than yourself. Because I mean, obviously, there's 9 spots on the field. We start a freshman every game, so there's really 8 spots on the field. And these guys that are support players have just done a really good job understanding that, my job may be to make you better in practice. It may be to push you in practice. It may be to be here for this one at bat, this one inning, this one pinch run opportunity, whatever that may be. I'm willing to put all the same work in for this small role if we can go win the last game of the season.
How for you, and this is when I was talking about this with you, about you, is that when we played together, the leadership that you had, because I mean, for our team, the year that you and I were together, it was one, like, you could tell who the leader was, and you could tell like your focus was a lot bigger than what a lot of ours was at the time on this. How did you turn that leadership into one that, obviously I know your faith and all that, but to go into this situation where now that is your job every day, is to have to be that godly leader for these players?
Well, the first thing I'll say is you got to make a lot of mistakes along the way so you can figure a few things out, and so taking over I took over a Division III program basically at the age of 26, 27 years old. And so I'm just a couple years older than the seniors, and we were a good team. I mean, it was a good program, and, we had a couple draft picks early, and here I am, then I'm their head coach, and the reality is it's just all about relationships. And that's why I say you got to learn some tough lessons and maybe mess some things up, but you got to be willing to humble yourself, learn from them, and grow. And every team and every season will be absolutely unique. When you graduate 12 seniors this year, I mean, you can see the writing on the wall. Yeah. Next year will be a completely different challenge that we'll have, but it's an opportunity, right? It's excitement to have to do something a little different. And, I don't have to go sit behind a desk and just, I get these unique challenges every day. And, there may be a perception of the kind of kids you get at MA, and some people, you're talking about, you hate MA, you're a public school guy, you have to fight this. So, but we got a lot of unique kids here, and just trying to focus on, how much you love those kids and that opportunity to hug that kid when it's all said and done and go, I'll do anything for you the rest of your life. I think that's where it's got to come from. And if they know that, then leadership begins to take care of itself a lot. And that's where I've had to learn and grow over the years as a coach.
Well, I'm gonna let you know, the only reason I dislike MA is totally out of a jealousy for how good the team was. That's 1,000% it. It's not the pro. Trust me, there was a couple seasons, man, where I almost was wearing that uniform. So trust me, it's not like I dislike the school. I spent a lot of summer at that school, but it is totally dang it, why are they always so good? It's annoying. It was always annoying. So that's the whole reason of it. It has nothing to do with the school itself. It was all out of jealousy. It 1,000% was out of this.
We appreciate that.
Oh, no
we
problem.
appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
David Presley, head coach of Madison Academy Mustangs baseball. And David, you're looking forward to this next matchup tomorrow, starting at 3:30, hoping that the weather kind of stays clear. This one's going to be in Tuscaloosa. This isn't a public school. This is another private school in the form of American Christian Academy.
SCA.
What do you know about this squad that you've kind of been prepping for moving forward? Because I know it's tournament action, so you don't really know. You only have maybe a day or two to really prep for it. Tell us a little bit about them.
Yeah, we kind of you begin to get ideas and gather information. And the cool thing is you kind of got to gather a little bit of rapport, and then send your assistants out to kind of have a preface. So you at least know some names of some players and things like that ahead of time. And they kind of would like to go just confirm all that when you get out to see them. But they're an offensive team. And I think that their arms are definitely, I mean, you don't get the Final Four without guys that get out. Shut Scott Sparrow out. I think they only gave up 3 in the Elite 8 matchup there. And so, but at the end of the day, for us, they got a couple kids that compete at a really high level that you really want to focus on. But what we say all the time, like we've been a pitching and defense team all year, and we've had some hot times with the bat, which I think we're going to need a little bit of that going into the series. I think we're going to have to swing it better than we have in the playoffs. We've been a little cold. But if we throw the ball where we want to throw the ball and make the routine play, we can beat anybody in the state, just because our arms have done such a good job. And we've got some guys that can really, really throw the ball and have a good out pitch and that kind of thing. So ACA, good team, going to be loud, going to be a lot of the horns down there. Those are a new thing in the state this year. I feel like where you can't hear a thing. So having to work on communication and a lot of nonverbal communication on things to be ready to have everybody in the right position when the ball's hit.
And you talk about the offense being a little lacking during the postseason, and maybe it's some of the jitters. Thankfully, though, defense has come up pretty big, and you guys have been able to sweep the first two opponents with Douglas and Leeds. But, of course, Lawrence County got one on you. But you finished it off with an 8-1 win. I mean, it seemed like the bats were going right. Talk a little bit more. What kind of went right? How did that kind of happen to where you saw the most runs get in by your team this postseason?
Well, see, on Monday, we were either 8 for 8 or 9 for 9 on bunt opportunities, and I think we recorded 4 bunts where they didn't record an out. Wow. And so we actually got them with some small ball, and then Miles Johnson hit a grand slam in the 7th inning that stretched that game out to 8-1. So, in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, maybe that'll help us feel a spark, the excitement and the elation of that moment where you kind of sit on, not really having a big hit in 3 games, and then you get that. Hopefully we'll ride on that. It's like you said, everything in the playoffs where you might meet a team and put 8 to 10 runs up in the regular season. There's just a different emotion in playoffs, which we knew would be the case with Lawrence County. That's a big senior heavy team that was riding high and beat Springville in a number 1, and they come in and give you all you want, which is just what you have to expect in the playoffs. That's why you got to play your best balls, because it's anybody's game this time of year.
Well, Presley, I know we're about to have to let you go here in just a few minutes. So a couple more questions. One, I'm doing a ton of broadcasts now for UAH, man. I did almost every single, matter of fact, I did every single home game outside of one for the baseball team. What do I need to do to get you on at least a week? Not even a week, just an inning. How do I get you for an inning in a game?
Yeah, man, just call. I'd love to go over. And, we're sending Jack Doyle over there this year. I'm excited about that. But, man, just send me a text. I didn't even get out to a game. And when we've got guys over there playing, I love to get out and watch. So maybe we can just work it out if we know he's got a chance on the mound, or even not to give me a chance to go over and give Jackie a hug at the field. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Coach, we got a little bit of a back and forth right now. The other day I was watching the Yankees game, all right, and you brought up the horns that they got down there in Tuscaloosa. There was a guy blowing a whistle every single time the pitch went off, okay? What was the most annoying thing the fans or the crowd has done back in your career or you coaching that you've heard the fans try and get into the players' heads? Because I don't think the whistle is actually allowed. I don't know. I'm not 100%.
It is in Nashville.
Yeah, I mean, I got to think though. Yeah, the Vandy whistler is probably, if you're not a Vandy fan, I imagine even if you are a Vandy fan, you're sitting close. That's tough.
Yeah.
For a whole game. And everybody, he's kind of an icon, but. I mean, honestly, so, we get forced that last Friday night to go to Huntsville High School to play. And it's a giant blessing. Luke Lamb and the crew over there, so grateful to them for letting us get a game in. Because if we had not gotten that game in and had to play 2 Monday and 1 Tuesday, that really begins to get your pitching staff for a quick turnaround. And so, but we, Huntsville's pretty packed in, and Lawrence County brought a big crowd. It sounded like a European soccer game. It's the vuvuzelas, it's cowbells, it was constant noise. Nobody could hear a thing on the field. And I'll be honest, I like the purity of baseball. I'm fine with the cheering and the elation and everything, but all the foreign objects and the sound makers and all that, I'm like, hey, let's do it on a home run. Let's do it on a on a celebrating something, but just blowing horns the whole time. I mean, pretty much relentless. It's just a different thing for the sport. I love to keep baseball, but hey, overcome and win. We're going to have to battle this weekend. And at the end of the day, the beauty of sports is learning to work through stuff and becoming tougher for the rest of your life.
And now, so that means that you're not going to join me in enjoying some Japanese baseball with all the cheering that I've been getting into with them.
Yeah. How come UAH, man? You can have that.
All right, final question for you. This is totally I'm totally joking. I'm watching a video right now of you talking after the games against Lawrence County. Can you explain the mustache?
The golden stash. I have no hair, Joe, since the last time you saw me. I have no hair. All my guys have blonde hair for this playoff run, which is a popular thing, I guess. And I said, well, I'll dye the only hair I got, boys. And so I freshen it up the night before every game and keep the bleach in there. And basically what I'll tell you about that, I'm not a big facial hair guy, but I'll do a mustache for the playoffs. Well, I came in the first day of practice this year and I said, look, it's not about trying to get hot in the playoffs. It's about showing up every single day and doing it right every single day. So I said, I'm not going to shave until we have a bad practice. And one of the reasons we're here now is we haven't had a bad practice. These guys have put in incredible effort. So I still have facial hair. So 10 more days or so, hopefully I get to keep this thing, and then I'll be shaving as soon as we get an opportunity, hopefully, to play for a championship.
Okay. All right. No, look, that's an awesome story. It wasn't.
That's not your natural hair color, is it?
No, it's not.
Oh, absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
Well, the gold stash. I love it.
I joke with you about MA. I joke about dislike him, but man, I'm telling you, I've never. There's not a single teammate that I've ever played with that I've ever talked about how great of a person, a godly man, a teammate, a leader, every single thing that you were for our one season together. And man, I will tell you that it is amazing to see good people and good things happen to them. And I love seeing everything that you're doing at MA, man. You are literally the only reason I will ever cheer for anything MA.
Oh man, I really appreciate it, man. I think of you. We had one, I think of a big double you had. I feel like at, I can't remember the name of the school up in Tennessee, or like my last career game, you had a big double, but I remember more, we host these FCA events at UAH, and it might be me, you, and 3 other people, but you're always there hanging out, and I couldn't appreciate you more for being there.
Well, no, I appreciate you, man, and seriously, whatever you need, anything like that, I'm here for you, man. It's awesome seeing how great you've come and how far you've come from UAH and everything, and it's awesome, man. I love you, bro, and I'm just so happy that you and your wife and everybody's just having such a good time and everything, and man, it's so awesome to see you guys.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, man. See you, sir. That is David Presley. God, it's so weird to say.
And I appreciate you and David as well for having such a wonderful, heartfelt conversation. And also, I need to know how David did that with his mustache, dude. I didn't know you could be that precise with a yellow stash. I was trying to look at it. It didn't even look like he had a stash for a second. You get a little closer. It looks good. He's pulling it off. He's looking like gold member right now.
It is. It's awesome. You can see it. I'll shoot the tweet out. Is Nick Kuzma was the one that was doing the interview with him, and it's Presley talking after. And it's so I looked at it. I'm just going, I know that's not natural. There's got to be a story behind this.
I shouldn't have shaved now. Look, seeing that, I want to do the gold.
Look, the UAH softball team, they were joking with me. They want me to dye the hair blue if they win the national championship, and if they want me to dye the mohawk blue. Well, I'm all for it.
The Havoc also said.
Havoc wanted me to dye it red, but then Cole Cece decided he just wanted to end all of that fun. So look,
so after both a Havoc and UAH seasons, if you see this guy with the normal hawk, then that means the teams didn't go all the way.
For Presley, if there was ever a conversation for it, I would bleach it. My wife would kill me, but I'd bleach it. I'm just kidding, because now I know that he's still listening.
No,
and there's no way on earth I can bleach my hair. No,
fine, then I'm gonna bleach my hair. No, if they win it, I'll go blonde.
Okay, if they win it, you can go bleach your hair. How about we do that? There we go.
Let's check. We gotta check. We gotta check here. 1 second. I'll come over there. We gotta check. We gotta make sure about this. Okay, because this is
put it on camera. Okay, you're gonna come over here and do this. As while we're sitting here, I still have his video pulled up from Fox 54 right now. Shaking the hand. That was a horrible shake. There we go. Okay, there we go. Shaking it. He can bleach his hair. If MA wins the state championship in baseball and Presley picks himself up a ring, he can do that. Also, we're going to get him on one of the broadcasts for UAH baseball next season at some point in time. So we'll continue that. Also, news coming out of Tuscaloosa, since Madison Academy is heading down there to take on ACA. We are going to talk a little bit more about the Crimson Tide, because it's not just football making the headlines now. Apparently the basketball team's making some news as well. We'll let you know what that is when we come back on the Blitz. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
256-576 97.7. We'll be right back.
The Braves roll into the 2025 season with a singular focus. Bring home the division title and remind the league what Atlanta is all about.
Swung on, driven to left center field and deep. That baby's out of here. Austin Riley. Trio to Olsen, and he powers one. Deep right center field to the wall. It's gonna fly. It's a home run. Back-to-back homers.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of iconic casinos, world-class shows, dining and entertainment. Las Vegas. With flights starting as low as just $79, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Las Vegas. Book nonstop to Las Vegas now at flybreeze.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Are they promising you up to 10% growth per year guaranteed for your retirement income? If not, you need a new financial advisor. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 up front or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't work when you're supposed to be retired. If any financial advisor tells you it's too good to be true, they simply don't have the options we do. Call Trajan today, 256-208-9000, 256-208-9000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
Want to save some money?
I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Just check out our zone deals online at 977ESPN.com. We are 977 ESPN The Zone.
Wow. We'll finish the game injured.
I know Joe just came over here, laid down on the ground, which I do this every once in a while. I lay down on the ground, I get myself my little stretches, my morning stretches in, Joe, but man came over into my domain, laid down and tried to get a cramp out of his leg. Crazy. Real quick, because we're gonna be out of here sooner than later. Did you see that Enter Sandman was performed live in Lane Stadium from Metallica just last night?
Oh,
it's hitting him again.
It is. Look, have you ever?
I've had one cramp in my life.
Are you serious?
And it was on the bus coming home from a football game against a team up in Tennessee. And I hated them.
And so it's the cramp. I used to get a ton of cramps when I was growing, like when I was a teenager and I was hitting my growing spurts. I'd get a ton of cramps there.
Yeah, I got growing pains.
I also get them at times after working out a lot. That's not the case right now, because it's just like, and it's right in my hamstring. Yeah, I don't know what that sound was. It's in my hamstring. Okay, I think it's going away.
So
now.
I was stretching over here and I forgot to mute my mic, and I was like, oh, and then I was like, oh,
I'm telling you. Oh, yeah. So that, okay. So what, just a few moments ago. Okay. I just tweeted out the video of Presley in his stash. So you can go and follow me on X at Joe Hunk. It is right there. Here's the video that we were just talking to David Presley about just a few moments ago. Okay.
Good stuff.
There we go. Okay.
Do you want to hit the phone lines? Or you want to
hit the phone lines?
Right.
No, because I'm still trying to get the cramp out.
All right, let's hop into the phone lines. You guys can as well. We got a little bit of time left on this one. 256-576-97-7 to join in on the Blitz. Josh, how you doing, man?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing today?
Well, doing good. How about you, man?
Joe's falling apart with it.
Dude, I am. I got a massive cramp.
Hey, look, the worst. That's what I was going to say first. The worst is if you get those cramps in the middle of the night that wake you up out of your sleep.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
I wish.
That is the worst.
Josh is right.
In the world.
You're sitting there, you're asleep, you start to feel it in your dream, and you're just going, God, what is this?
Yes.
And then, like, for me, I've got a son on my left side that's sleeping in the floor because he doesn't want to sleep in his own room. I've now got a wife to my right and a new baby to my right, and I'm trying to like slide out of the bed quietly while I'm in this massive pain with a humongous cramp in my calf or in my quad, and
It's always the calf. It's always the calf.
It's so annoying.
And second, John, I love you, brother, but Joe, I hope you don't have to dye your hair mohawk blue, bro. I'm pulling for you on that one.
Well, he doesn't.
Please don't dye the mohawk blue.
He doesn't. Not this season.
No. I won't. I guess for softball or anything like that. Yeah, they asked me, would you dye your mohawk blue if we won the national championship? I was like, heck yeah, I will. But now it's John that's going to dye his hair blonde and bleach blonde if MA wins the state championship, which is literally only like, well, it's about 6 wins away.
Let's just
it's
be
still
real.
a while away.
Let's just be real. All right. I have been looking for a reason to go blonde yet again. I love the hairstyle.
An excuse.
And now I'm looking to David Presley to win this state championship so I can.
I'm naturally blonde, so it's normal for me. It ain't bad. And lastly, I was just going to say real quick, do y'all remember that World Cup? And they had those, I think they were called boo-boo duelas or
South
whatever.
Africa. It was in South Africa.
Oh, my God. That was the worst thing that would distract me the most at any sporting event. That is god-awful.
When you get the free kick and you just hit the...
Yeah. All right, Josh, we appreciate it. We didn't get to talk about it too much, but Yay Alabama is reporting that the Alabama Crimson Tide is looking to schedule a game at Madison Square Garden in November against St. John.
There you go.
Trip to November? Or trip to, okay, bye.
Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beams likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well-trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That you paint your body, your car, and your dog your school colors? Maybe. But it means more than that. It means your alumni network includes the state, the country, and beyond. It means your school ring doubles as your resume. And yeah, you better believe it means more titles, like doctor, CEO, and your honor. Because this is the SEC. And here, it just means more. What does it mean to be part of the Southeastern Conference? That yours is the only conference with its own chant? Well, yes, but it means more than that. It means a study abroad program that might include reforestation in a mangrove swamp in Australia. It means finding your calling, your future spouse, your startup's co-founders, and of course, grilling tongs that play your fight song. This is the SEC, and here, it just means more.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Knicks head home in the driver's seat of their second-round NBA playoff series against the defending champs. They're up 2-0 on the Celtics after shaking off a 20-point deficit in Boston for the second consecutive game. New York's now 5-0 on the road this postseason, has won all 5 games by 3 points or less, with Jalen Brunson playing a big role. He had 9 points in the fourth quarter last night, including the game-winning free throws with 20 seconds left. When the Warriors take on the Timberwolves in Game 2 tonight, it'll mark the first time since the 2018 Western Conference semis they won't have Steph Curry on the floor. He's sidelined at least the next 3 games with a mild hamstring strain. Golden State has a 1-0 series lead. Capitals and Hurricanes kick off the second-round Stanley Cup playoff doubleheader, followed by Golden Knights and Oilers. Vegas and Washington both down 1-0.
Your home of the SEC Baseball Tournament. 97.7 The Zone.
In the South, it's always college football season, and the king of college football reigns supreme all year long.